Are we the assholes in this story? 'Cause our neighbor threatened to sue us. A few weeks ago, Sean and I moved our Honda, that's normally parked in front of our driveway, across the street so we could clean all the fallen leaves from our London plane tree out front. We normally park in front of our driveway every day, except on the days when the streets are cleaned, and then we move it off the street. Here in New York City, the only people legally allowed to park in front of a driveway are the residents of the property, and knowing we always have a spot waiting for our car is such a treat. With the leaves done, I tackle the bigger chore on my list, fixing the piece of sidewalk out front that the tree's roots had pushed up and has caused plenty of people to trip as they walk by. The city's rules are that the homeowner's responsible for the upkeep and snow shoveling of the sidewalk in front of their house. So if a pedestrian falls and gets hurt, it's our fault.
We're avoiding a lawsuit.
I watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to do this, and here's what I learned. The masking tape goes down first to outline the work area. The wider bit is where the divot of concrete's missing. I'm using a cement that's meant for repairs like this and bonds to other concrete, and instead of water, I'm using an acrylic fortifier that'll make sure that this small fix doesn't break or come loose. When it's mixed together, I simply spread it on like thick cake frosting and slowly mold it into the shape of a ramp until it stays in place on its own. And as it starts to dry, I give it a bit of a smack and a pat to smooth the surface out a bit more. Then I need to slide my tool between the new concrete and the raised bit of sidewalk to separate the two and make sure the fix doesn't stick to that piece of sidewalk, just to the sidewalk underneath it. Then one more layer of protection overnight.
She's done.
Tonight we're going to keep our car parked across the street so the pedestrians on the sidewalk can easily get past our blockade after dark. But what looks like an open parking spot will always draw the attention of car owners who've been hunting for a spot. But once they've seen that it's in front of a driveway and that the end of our driveway is painted yellow, they usually move on. Except once every couple of months when someone decides that it's not a driveway and that yellow curb doesn't mean anything. They figure it's too good a spot to give up, and they take the chance. Then the driver walks up, looks through the gate and down our driveway, then heads back to the yellow line and begins unloading. The minute he's gone, the very next pedestrians, who now have no choice, climb over the fence around our tree to avoid the concrete. First thing the next morning, Sean comes out and notices the illegally parked car, and he swings into action. First, he has to use the city's 311 app to put in a request that the police come to ticket the car, which will cost the driver $95. This officer told Sean she's written this driver over 20 tickets. So while he might be forgiving of a guy stopping to make a quick delivery, for this guy, Sean shows no mercy. Only once the car has a parking ticket on its windshield is Sean allowed to call a tow truck. He immediately puts a call into the towing company, and we both head off to Asbury Park for the day, where we're doing winter chores at our beach house. 20 minutes later, a big old flatbed truck shows up and begins the slow and deliberate process of getting the car out between the other two cars without damaging any of the three. 8 hours after it's towed, guess who shows up looking for his car? And then, figuring it might have something to do with the driveway of the house he parked in front of, he starts ringing our doorbell, which connects to my phone in the car as we're returning from Asbury Park.
Are you the owner of the building?
I told him I was.
Yeah, I had my car parked in front here. It's gone. Did you call a tow truck?
I told him I had.
Why did you do that?
I told him why.
Yeah, this was an unmarked driveway.
I told him that legally we don't have to have a sign saying it's an active driveway.
Yeah, you'll be hearing from my first.
We literally pulled up a minute later, and as we're unpacking the car, he walks back up the street to continue the conversation.
Sorry?
Yeah. You parked on our driveway? Yeah.
What's wrong with you guys? I live right down the street. You couldn't left it note for 2 seconds?
You left it here for 24 hours.
Even after pointing out the driveway and the gate and that there's yellow paint across the curb, he wasn't convinced that he was in the wrong.
There's no sign that says.
We were the jerks for having his car towed. In the end, he asked if we knew where his car was towed to, and Sean gave him the number of the company, and he left in a huff. So, how long should we let a car block our driveway? Are we the assholes for having his car towed?